This video is on multiplying and dividing fractions. To be able to multiply and divide fractions, you need to be able to convert them into mixed, from mixed to improper fractions. Okay, so that's the first thing we need to do. So I'll just run through that as I do the first one. So to convert this into a improper fraction, first of all, we know that it's quarters because the denominator is 4. So this is representing 2 wholes. Now, if I have 2 wholes, okay, here are my 2 wholes. I know that they have to be split into quarters because I'm working with quarters, okay? And let's do another one for the last part. So I've got 1 quarter and I've got 2 wholes, okay? So altogether, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 quarters. Okay, so that's 9 over 4. Now, there is a quicker way to do this if you don't understand that, or if you're quite happy with that, you could just do the quicker method. You would do 2 times 5, okay, because that's the number of fifths. So there'd be 10 fifths, plus another 3 more, so there are 13 fifths there, okay? So the next part, when you're multiplying fractions, it's the most straightforward one to do. You multiply the numerators together and then you multiply the denominators together. So I'm going to do 9 times 13 and I'm going to do 4 times 5. I nearly wrote the answer then. So 9 times 13, well, 10 times 13 is 130. So I need to take a 13 away. So that's 117. And then we would do the denominator, which is 20. So the next part would be converting it back into a mixed number. So it's how many 20s go into 117. So 117 divided by 20, well, let's think about it. It only goes in 5 times with a remainder of 17. Now, the key there is to write the remainder, because you're going to use that in your answer. So the 5 represents the number of wholes. The remainder is your numerator and your denominator is what you were working with. Okay? So the next one, it works in the same way. We've just got to do one extra step when you're dividing a fraction. So we're going to convert them into mixed numbers first. So I've got 3 4s, which are 12, plus 3 is 15 over 4, divided by 4 times 2 is 8. 1 more is 9 over 2. Okay, dividing fractions. So the rule with dividing fractions is that you can, if you do the reciprocal, which is flipping this fraction around, you can multiply them together. I'm going to show you why that is now. So if I said to you 2 divided by a half, okay, lots of people would tell me the answer is 1 because they think they're doing half of 2. No, that's not what I'm asking. If I said to you 10 divided by 2, you're not halving, you are halving 10 this time because it's different. But if I reword it, you will say, how many 2s are there in 10? Okay, well, there are 5. So let's use that wording. How many halves are there in 2? Well, there are 4, aren't there? Okay, because if you imagine you've got 2 whole circles and you split them in halves, how many halves are there? Well, there are 4. So let's do 2 divided into thirds. So how many thirds are there in 2? Well, there are 6. How many quarters are there in 2? There are 8. So can you see that if I change this round and I did 2 times 4 over 1 and I did the reciprocal, I would get the same answer. So obviously these are quite simple examples and it gets a lot more difficult when you're dividing by 9 over 2. So the easiest way to do it is to turn the divide into a times and do the reciprocal. But that's why you're allowed to do it, because the rules allow you to do that. Okay, so 15 times 2 is 30. 4 times 9 is 36. So the answer is 30 over 36. I can't turn this into a mixed number, but I can simplify it. So both of these can go into 3. and 6 actually. So they go into 2, 3 and 6. So 6 into 30 goes 5 times, 6 into 36 goes 6 times. Okay, so that's how you multiply and divide fractions.